I want all you guys. I have more kindness in my heart to Antonio Conte, not Tottenham, just Conte than I have to Arsenal.
Just Conte.
Yes.
Alright. I know you're anti-Arsenal fan, but just have some.
Definitely.
Alright, cool. John Terry said that player power than meet at Chelsea. What do you say about that?
Well, player power is definitely. I don't agree with the comments. They definitely do exist. Like, a coach couldn't tell Hazard what to do, so Hazard is a player and he has a lot of power, right? And I think also, so I guess I would say 50-50 because I do believe Chelsea benefited from having strong players like Terry, Branislav Ivanovic, Cahill, right, Drogba, Lampard, these players, like nobody, like you're a player coming into the Chelsea system, like you can't tell these players anything, and they had already the mentality to win, which was something like what Manchester United had in the old day with Rooney and, you know, Scholes and Giggs and all these guys that basically police the team. So when a player comes in, they have to perform at a certain level. It was the same thing, which is what part of the catalyst for Chelsea's success. And I think it's two sides to it. So I do think there's some player power because, you know, like when Hazard was there, you know, you heard the stories from Felipe Luis and what's the other guy? Like Remy saying, you know, Hazard, like he's asking Hazard, do you train like this? And Hazard is saying, look, I'm the boss. and then he's saying, look, I'm the boss. And he's like, really? And then in the match, Hazard scores a hat-trick. And he comes to Hazard and he said, look, I told you I'm the boss. Like, when they go in, you know. And so it's like, you know, Felipe Luis is saying the same thing. Sarri is saying that Hazard wasted most of his talent because he didn't train well. When everybody's going on the pitch, he's playing Mario Kart. That was what Felipe Luis was saying, like Hazard was playing Mario Kart. So there are powerful players in most dressing rooms, and in Chelsea, it's evident, like, you do not upset certain players because when they stop playing, automatically, the board has one eye on you saying, you know, I've got to get rid of this guy because, you know, this guy is not playing. And, right, and I would definitely say Timo Werner had a part to play with the sacking of Lampard, right? So it's like, yeah, player power exists.
That's his fault. He was poor, he hasn't improved, so he's not player poor.
Yeah, but he has a part to play.
No.
Right? And Timo Werner and Kai Havertz had a part to play in Tuchel's appointment, being that they were German and he was German.
Well, I think the player power we're talking about is the player influencing, deliberately having influence over the decision of the club and the whole. And what's happening in today's society.
Yeah, but I do believe that exists too. Like you have a player like John Terry, Branislav Ivanovic, even Lampard, Drogba. There's Drogba, I think, is a Chelsea ambassador now. So you have these players and they've been there so long and you know that they want the club to succeed. Of course, Roman Abramovich or the manager is going to ask them a few questions because he knows they have the club's best interest in heart, at heart. So, of course, that kind of power exists, and I think that's healthy, right? You know, if they're saying something against the manager, it's not, but then, you know, it's healthy and it's good to know what's happening in the dressing room from time to time. So it exists, and so I do see what he's saying, but I do see the need also.
Yeah, I agree because what happening, players value more. They are big players, they value more.
Yeah.
They become more powerful, a bigger asset to the club and manager.
But I don't think that's what gives it the power. I think it's what you've won at Chelsea, and you know you're being a stalwart.
I think so.
No, you're stalwart. No, it's not a market value. It's like you're a stalwart. So it's like Fernandinho would have more power than Mahrez at Manchester City. Because Fernandinho is a stalwart in the team, like he's won everything and he's there. You know he wants to win. Like you heard it.
Not anymore. At
no,
this point, I don't have influence.
No, he has the influence still because you disrespect Fernandinho when he's talking to you, then you're disrespecting the heritage of a club like City and who helped build it. Which one of the players who built it up throughout his career was Fernandinho in regards to winning the titles. And you remember famously Fernandinho was speaking on what was happening in the City dressing room when before they went on the 21-game run, and Fernandinho was saying that he had to stand up and talk to the players and let them know the standard that's expected. So you know, it has to come from a player like that. So you know, I think it's just you being a long-term server of the club's best interest, right? And basically a person who is a great part of the big good days, because I don't think Solomon Kalou could stand up at Chelsea and tell anybody what to do, because he wasn't like, wasn't the guy, right? But then Drogba could, or Lampard could, right? Probably Torres couldn't, but then you understand. So it's like Cahill could, because Cahill took over from John Terry. Aspilicueta is like the old guard of the club right now, because he's one of the older players. So it's something like that, right? So I see what he's saying, and I agree and I disagree to some sense about player power, because I think it's there. It's just maybe what he's speaking of is the bad side to player power. And I don't see a lot of the bad side to player power. Right? Like at Manchester United with Pogba. I had to do that. Yeah. Yeah. So now, please don't.